6 o'clock live stream. We are here every Sunday evening at 6 a.m., 6
Sunday,
p.m.,
Sunday, Sunday.
except for next Sunday because I'll be on vacation and we can't do a, show next week, which, whatever, man. I'll see if I can bust out something to make it worth everybody's while. There are some very good tattoo shops out there. Let us know if we sound okay, look okay before we get rolling too far. Just give us a quick thumbs up in chat. Let us know. We would appreciate it. And we got a couple cool things to talk about tonight. Nothing crazy, man. We're going to keep it light tonight. I think that we've been doing some serious stuff the past couple weeks.
I think the one topic's kind of serious.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But we're not gonna. It's not gonna be serious the whole time. We're gonna be able to have some fun tonight.
Bunghole.
Yeah,
Can I say that on YouTube?
Yeah, so they've actually released some of the stipulations. It's not as stringent as it used to be, as long as it's not within the first, I don't know how many seconds or whatever, minute, 2 minutes it is of the episode, then you should be good to go.
You know, so I didn't mention this to you before, but
I'm looking up the article, so keep talking. I don't mean to be
on my Google Photos, right? I tried to post like a Jerry pinup girl,
right.
the one that with the peacock tail. Google wouldn't post it.
Really?
Yeah, because of the boobies.
Okay. So I don't know why I lost the article. What's up, RC? Welcome, hanging out with us tonight.
What's up, man?
Good to see you, brother. Haven't seen you in a minute. So we have has everyone walk out. I had an article set up for us, and it disappeared. So basically, I can't find it now. God damn it.
So there was a tattoo shop.
Yeah, just tell them, kind of give them the feedback.
I would say a few weeks ago now.
Yeah.
Where everyone quit at once. And the general consensus was it was due to the behavior of the shop owner.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, hassling his employees. I think only one person posted about it, and they were vague.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to try to bring it up. So just kind of give them the rundown real quick.
Yeah, so that's really most of what I know about it.
Yeah, so apparently the guy that owns this shop has been kind of going through it. He's not having a good year. He had somebody run into his shop, drove their car through the shop, and now they're saying that this guy, I'm not even going to say his name. It's probably better off that I don't. He basically had everybody in both of his shops walk out. The guy owned 2 shops, and he since had everybody from both shops walk out because there was issues with him doing nefarious things with customers, and or they didn't get specific.
Yeah, they did keep it vague.
The people that work for him. So, Justin and I talk about this a lot on this show where we talk about how, it's real important for public-facing, owners of businesses to mind their P's and Q's, man. You can't be having seedy shit going on, and to be fair,
it's all
innocent
alleged.
until proven guilty.
Yeah.
So, which is probably, you know what? It's probably good that we're not going to bring it up because I don't want to put somebody out on Front Street and it might not even be true. So, it just seemed awful funny.
Stuff that's related, right? Angelique Holcomp from Holland, I think.
Okay.
She did this whole essay awareness and tattooing thing where she opened an Instagram and let anybody post anything. And one of the things that she said was, if a woman lies about SA, and the man goes through. The man faces the consequences. That's on her. I would rather believe a liar than defend.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
So
is
you can't. You gotta.
so. But what I mean is that there were there were a couple famous, well-known tattooers
That got caught in the wake.
that were brought up in this. And the one machine builder tattooer from the West Coast, I mean, he fired back with both barrels. Like, I'll take a lie detector test. My accusers can take a lie detector test. I mean, he put him out there on blast.
The thing is, though, it just seems odd to me that let's face it, man. You know, tattoo shops really don't get a lot of news coverage unless it's bad, right? Something
Yeah.
bad happens. But to even have the news pick up the story or catch wind of it, that almost looks to me like somebody had to, you know, kind of call and be like, "Hey, this is what's going on here."
Or call a blogger in the blog.
Yeah, yeah, because I don't really foresee that being something that they would pick up. You know, yeah, does it sound suspect that we have people, you know, everybody that works there walked out the door? Sure. But also, we don't know the facts either, so it's not 100% that everybody walked out. It could be a majority, whatever. You know, but it's just it's one of those things that we wanted to bring up as a reminder for people out there that, you know, you gotta mind your P's and Q's, dude. You can't be doing seedy shit, man. You know,
So
don't be a scumbag.
but in the modern environment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what constitutes that now?
If you gotta question it, it's not right. That's basically how I roll through life right now.
Right.
If let's say if I wanted to bring up a topic here
Right.
and I go, I wonder if that'll be an okay topic or is it going to be, you know, it's automatically a no. That's basically how you got to look at it. Is it right? I don't know. I don't make the rules. But if there's any doubt in my mind, I go, nope.
But so given the environment of tattoo shops, and I'd like to know what RC would say about this. From 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
A big difference.
Yeah, I mean,
I would just like to say that
aren't tattoo shops the kind of places where wild shit?
There's a difference between wild shit going on and inappropriately touching your employees
Absolutely.
or customers.
Absolutely.
Well, you sound like you're backing that up, dude, and you're sounding like a scumbag.
I'm
So I
not
just figured I would verify so
I am
people
not
know.
I am not being a scumbag. I'm just saying that
Well, I'm just saying that you're making yourself look really bad right now, so
Oh,
you might
dude,
want to back it up.
I'm what do you call it? I'm blushing. You got me blushing, dude. You got
Happy Canadian Thanksgiving. RC said that was for Sarah, by the way. RC said that never be alone with a new client.
yeah.
There you go, dude. Like, it's almost like like they tell people in retail, right? Like, don't be around little kids by yourself. Just because you have no intentions, but you don't want to be anywhere where somebody could say something or make something up.
Yeah, my cousin's a high school teacher. He can't have social media.
Exactly. I'm friends with people that were teachers. You know, I went to high school with them. They're teachers now. And they're like, yeah, dude, I wish I could catch up with you. Hey, thank you for the super chat, Sarah. Much appreciated. That, I'd love to be able to catch up with you or whatever, but I can't even have social media because there's just too much seedy shit going on, man. And it's true. There's always got to be some like bad apple that's got to ruin it for everybody. And, look, the bottom line is, if you're a shop owner, you're going to do what you're going to do. That's your deal or whatever. But I just I'm trying to say, like, those days of acting like that are way over.
All right.
So when I see stuff like this, it annoys me.
So I'll be devil's advocate, right? So what if the people working at the shop were all like woke millennials, and they're going to accuse the guy of like microaggressive facial expressions?
It's possible.
I mean, what I mean is that the goalposts have been moved so far that you never know anymore. Like, I'll tattoo female clients now, right? And just tattooing their arms. I mean, I always ask,
Yeah.
"Can I,
Can I touch you?
can I touch you?" You
Yeah.
know, which seems ridiculous to me that in a modern climate, like I have to ask somebody to touch them when I'm tattooing them.
So Drag just said here we are a team of 3 and never work alone. So there you go. I
Or have
mean,
cameras.
or have cameras.
Yeah.
I think that that's probably your best bet in this day and age is to make sure you have cameras. First of all, depending on the area. Now, look, if you live, you're tattooing on Rodeo Drive or whatever. I don't know if you necessarily, you know what I'm saying, but some of the people that are tattooing in some shittier neighborhoods, probably a good idea to have cameras anyway. I'm just saying. I mean, but
Or to not have cameras.
well, or
If you got to
well,
pull a gun on somebody.
yeah, Um, did anybody get to see the Mike Schwaggart episode? It came out this morning, man. I'm just curious to see if any of our regulars got to see it. It's doing really well, man. I thoroughly enjoyed hanging out with Mike. Um, you know, wealth of knowledge. He is definitely somebody that I go to if I have questions every once in a while. I do reach out to him. You know, really enjoyed hanging out with him. If you ever get a chance to come to Jersey, which I know some of you guys are, long distances away, but his shop is truly amazing with some of the most amazing flash you'll ever see. And, he was actually nice enough to let me take pictures of some stuff and whatnot because there
Ooh.
are signs that say,
Ooh.
yeah, no, but like there was nothing.
Kick down those pictures. Did you take pictures of the Danny Higgs flash?
So the only flash that I put up that was actually a close up shot was shots that he provided to me.
Right.
Because I didn't want to put anything out there that like maybe I shouldn't have took a picture of that or shouldn't have put. I don't think he would have said that, but I'd rather just So I just kind of let him go. Okay, well here's the stuff I want you to give good close up shots of, which was cool. I mean, there was some really nice flash in there, man. There was some Coleman and some Paul Rogers, some Huck Spalding.
Nolan.
Uh,
He's got a lot of Nolan.
Yeah, no,
stuff
I'm just
up?
saying, like in the episode,
Oh.
like he actually put a piece of Zeke's flash in there.
Mm-hmm.
He had a really good, funny story about working with Zeke, which was cool. I said to him today, man, my intentions are, and I know you're not supposed to ever show your cards, but we're all family here. My intentions are to now get Richie Montgomery interviewed and Mike Perfetto interviewed, and I'm going to try to put together a second version of the sit down.
But just might get better?
To have a mic on everybody with a mixing board and multiple cameras to do like a proper sit down.
Mm-hmm.
And have everybody talk about the experience of how it was for them, what's transpired since with Tony Polito dying, Pete and Quinto dying. I think there's a lot of cool things that could happen with that. So we'll see what happens. But, so far the people I've talked to were like, hey, man, if you can get everybody on board, I'm in. So I don't know if Mike Perfetto and Richie would be into that. But if I can make it happen, I will.
Was Robert Ryan there and Tom?
No. Matter of fact, there was only one guy there from Canada who I wound up super cool dude, man. He actually we've added each other on Instagram.
If you get his name, we can ask him if he knows Sarah. Aren't there few enough people in Canada that they all know each other?
Yeah. I can't think of the guy's name off the top of my head. I was trying to look to see. But he was super cool, man. And he was actually riding down from, he goes by Pew, P-I-E-W, and it's Choquette.
Mm-hmm.
But he's from up, above Toronto. And he was on his bike. So he was doing a bike ride where he was going from, I think he said he stopped somewhere in North Jersey, came down to Schwaggart's shop, was going to D.C., going to Virginia, then cutting over to Ohio, and then cutting back. So he was doing a big old road trip and then tattooing along the way.
Nice.
So he does have Higgs Flash RC, but I did not put any of the Higgs Flash in the episode.
RC has Six Flash?
No. He's saying Schwaggart.
Yeah.
So there's some people that said, all right, RC said it was very good. OG or moderator Nikki said it was really good. OG Sarah said she's going to be watching it later tonight. Drag said saving it for tomorrow. So we had a couple people watch it, which is cool. You know, I don't normally put out videos on Saturday nights, but I just said, you know what, screw it, let's see what happens.
So years ago, you know, Mike was tattooing me, and
He said he does, by the way,
what?
have Higgs flash.
Of course, of course. But so my whole thing as a tattooer was I never went to conventions because I didn't really care what non-tattooed people thought of me. I just sort of wanted to be acknowledged by people that I respected, and Mike was definitely a dude I respected.
Yeah.
Even just because he was kind, you know what I mean? He was always just real respectful. So he's tattooing me, and this little tattooer comes in, and she's asking him questions about doing gray wash, and he looks up at her and he goes, "Why don't you ask Justin? He's a tattoo artist." And I swear, dude, in that moment I was like, yes, I am a tattoo artist. Mike Swaggart has said so. It just really, it was a good moment to be like acknowledged and like, you know what I mean?
He's so
good.
humble, dude, that he doesn't, you know, he doesn't put himself in that like high regard, which is crazy to me because when you earn the respect from the older generation of guys,
Yeah.
you're on a whole new level, man. You're beyond, you know, the average Joe street shop guy that just, you know, tattoos or whatever, and he just doesn't, you know, like somebody actually made a comment about like the Don of New Jersey. And I was like, oh, that's funny, but I don't, you know, Mike would never.
He would never say that about himself.
No, because he's way too humble. I did have a funny thing happen, though, that I want to bring up. I want to address. So we did the episode of Just Don't Do It, right? We
Mhm.
talked about it was the Nike
Right.
taking over the tattoo school. And I had a comment that I thought I would
From
share
Nike?
with. No. Dude, they have no clue who I am.
Listen, but if you do, I mean, we'll wear T-shirts and everything.
No, this is somebody that actually watched the episode, and they made a comment. And I think he's right, but I don't know if it's that right.
What did? Oh my God, dude!
Now he called you a guest.
This is, and bear in mind, this is the first time I'm hearing about this. This is
Yeah.
Buck has done an Oprah and or a Jerry Springer and brought me onto live internet, and
You are not the father. No. So he's talking about you. He said he needs to let his guests talk. Besides that, the podcast is pretty cool.
He thought I was the guest.
Yeah, so apparently I must talk over you a lot. Which is, you know, hey, I'm sorry if that's how it is, but, you know, sometimes I got to reel in the stream, man.
No, I just figure I'm the comic relief, you know?
No, but I just thought it was funny. I was like, oh, really?
You're Abbott, I'm Costello.
He was like, you know, it was cool and all, but needs to let his guest talk. Cool. I wasn't offended by it. I mean, like, he at least thought it was cool. So it was like a dig and then hey, it was sandwich coaching at its best. You're doing a really good job, but you suck. You could always do better. It's a great show. Sandwich coaching. They teach that to little kids when you're coaching Little League and stuff like that. It's called sandwich coaching. You give them praise, you give them the shit that they need to learn, and you give them praise again. Sandwich.
Nice.
So he might be a teacher. Kudos to you, sir.
Thanks for looking out, bro. If you're watching right now.
Yeah, you know.
We're gonna have Team Edward, Team
I wasn't offended.
whatever.
I mean, look, dude, I've had way worse comments.
Yeah.
So it's all good, man.
Do I get bad comments?
I don't know, because you know what? I turn off all the comments now that are negative. I don't turn them off. The YouTube turns them off.
Right.
So I'm sure, dude, if I ever hit the unfiltered button, I'd probably be like, all right, dude, I'm done. I'm packing it in. So I can't, you know, put myself through that. It's not even that it bothers me. It pisses me off.
It would bother me.
Nah, it is what it is, dude. It kind of goes with the territory. It's expected. So we're a little lean on the news this week, there truly was not a lot of stuff going on in the news for tattoo-wise anyway.
Yeah, I mean, there was some stuff going on in the news.
I'm talking about tattoo-wise.
Some dude in a frog suit.
Yeah. But I was like, okay, man, like, all right, so we got some other stuff. So, we talk about stuff that we send each other all the time. And it was like, you know what, man? I think we need to share one or two of these with our listeners to maybe get some of our humor. And obviously, I didn't pick any of the seedy stuff out for tonight. But we've actually talked about this multiple times on this show, so I think it's awesome that I have this set and ready to go.
So, as a side note, any of you guys that are friends with Buck, he loves memes and stuff about midgets.
Oh, you want to go there? You want to go there?
About little people. I'm sorry, you can't say.
Well, you know what? Here, this is one that this asshole sends me that loads. Now, this is one of the cleaner ones. Okay, this is one of the ones that this asshole sends me to totally jack up my algorithm because I watch it like a dumbass. And then next thing I know, I got 2 days worth of little people that I got to get rid of and go like 1,000 tattoo-oriented posts to get rid of them. So here you go. Here's one. Is it going to play? Oh, tell me it's going to play. It's not going to play. As you can see in this video, before it starts to play, these are little people that are riding Shetland ponies. So, yeah. Why is it not playing? I got it to work perfectly when I was at the house.
Do you have the one with the camel?
No. I had to be super selective about which ones that I was going to...
The little person racing the camel.
No. I don't know why it's lagging, dude. Well, anyway, you got to see it. I hope this is going to totally suck, though, for the next two that I have, because it was talking points. So, I'm not really sure what's going on here. But, yeah, so, Justin thinks it's funny to send me reels and memes and stuff like that.
Coming in, people. They're off and racing.
I don't know, man.
I live for it.
It's all good. It's all fun. Fun and games.
There's another one I was going to send you. I don't know if I did or not, but it was a group of little people pulling an airplane in an elephant. Like either
you sent it to me. I was actually going to pull that one up because it was clean. And I thought, yeah, man, that'll be okay. And then I forgot that you sent this one, so I was like, we'll go with this one.
Goddard beefed up Felix by two.
But so these are things that Justin thinks are funny that he sends me all the time. I don't know why it's not playing, but that's really gonna suck because I need to have these for the other ones, and hopefully they work. So we'll see what happens. If not, what I'll do is I'll actually bring it up as a share, and then we could do that. But the next ones they're funny, obviously, but they're a topic that we've talked about on this show multiple times. And I thought it was pretty good the way that this girl sets it up. So, let's see.
屁眼 butthole 父兄有 T father brother friend kick 民金节简洁你金块 gibberish 山羊 goat 羊群中的狼群 a pack of wolves among a flock of sheep. There's a lot of animals on her back. 我爱你妹 I love your sister. 杀人放火金腰带 Those who commit murder and arson end up with the golden belt. This is actually part of a Chinese saying. The second half is 修桥补路无尸骸 Those who build bridges and repair roads end up dead with no one to bury them. Yeah, kind of dark. 改善 improve 改善 Seems like a lot of people want to improve. That's good. 先天宜天邪 gibberish 可爱 cute 电饭锅 rice cooker 他妈的警察 fuck police. If you were going for 去他妈的警察 you can still save it though if you want. You can add the character on the left.
So there you go. I have one more to show you guys, but we'll kick this around before we go to the next one. So we've talked about how there are people out there that go and get tattoos and they don't, whether it's Chinese or Russian or what's some other like Greek,
Cyrillic.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. Like, and they don't really like look into the true accuracy of the tattoo.
So a funny thing with that is when people get Roman numeral birthdays, they forget the LCM, like the 1900 or the 2000.
Right.
So they just get 028 or 072. They don't realize that that's not how you write birthdays.
Yeah, I just
I told you about the soda story.
no.
Yeah, guy comes in, he gets the 4 elements on his legs. He gets earth and fire on one, and air and water on the other. And I had a friend of mine, and Da read and spoke Mandarin. He came in, he saw the photo, he was like, why does that guy have soda tattooed on him? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, aerated water, soda. That means soda. I didn't have the heart to tell the dude.
So, like, if it was trying to be that, there had to be some type of separation that would have made it so it wasn't soda.
Yeah, I guess it would have to be like a space issue, but he got them literally right on top of each other.
Oh wow.
Soda.
I mean, on that one, dude, she starts off right off the bat, butthole.
Nice.
I'm like, dude, can you imagine getting one of those tattoos, and then you go over to, well, I guess we can if we're here in the United States, right? We're not legally allowed to enter China. I don't think we're allowed to. But if you could, and then you roll over there, and then people are like, why do you have rice cooker on your leg?
So that's a pretty popular urban legend, right? I don't know if anybody actually has experience with that. I did meet a guy, Mike Cluxton, right? He told me that he had a symbol on him and a bunch of his buddies, and the tattooist had just copied a menu.
Yeah.
And then added his own sayings. But I think that's a pretty common urban legend in tattooing.
I think it's just that it's not true.
Because
Well, I mean, she just pointed out a whole slew of them, dude.
But I mean, like a Chinese menu, like
I
yeah,
got
the dude actually
well,
one guy got pork fried rice, one guy got egg foo young.
funny that you should say that.
感
Because
色情影星 sexy porn star 发 hair 大家死不是大家居住 everybody dies not everybody resides 听不懂 I don't understand 挫伤 contusion Oh 911 I have a contusion on my neck 宦官 eunuch 解经女联营 gibberish 狮子 louse 烟 castrate 打电话给茱莉亚 call Julia。No number though. 糖醋鸡 sweet and sour chicken. P.
so there you
Yes.
go. I knew it was
Yes.
in there.
Yes.
So that is, let's see, sweet and sour chicken. Somebody did get it.
Yes. I actually want to get that tattooed on me and then lie to people about what it means.
So let's listen to the rest of them.
糖醋鸡 sweet and sour chicken. P. Fart. Hungry. 春卷 spring roll. 星期二神圣的睾丸 Tuesday holy testicles. 犯人 prisoner. 经济金林地 gibberish. 完成 finish. 酒鬼 alcoholic.
Well, I need to write that one down. I can't really see it that well.
泡面 instant noodles. 索尼 Sony. 公牛不，我妈不让我纹身。My mom doesn't allow me to get a tattoo. But I got it anyway. 性感色情影星 sexy porn star.
So there you go. A whole slew of them with kung pao or sweet and sour chicken included.
So what do you think is the most common Japanese symbol I've ever done?
Wait.
Think about women from New Jersey in Philadelphia. There's one symbol kanji that I've done more than any other.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with us tonight, Sarah. Enjoy that ham roast dinner on your Canadian Thanksgiving. Dude, she's a trooper, man. She shows up on a holiday to hang out with us. Bravo. The most
common kanji that I've ever seen done in any tattoo shop. Let's put it out there.
Hope?
RC.
Hope?
Nope.
No?
RC, you can't answer because you know the answer.
Okay. I don't even have a clue, dude.
Yeah, let's see if people can guess.
Is it like an
it's-
element, or is it a saying?
No, it's not a saying or an element. It's an emotion.
Fear?
Let's let people guess. See if they can guess.
Love?
Love. Yep, the love kanji. I swear I could write the love kanji from memory. I've done that kanji thousands of times.
Interesting. Well, our moderator, Nikki, said strength. That would be a good one, too.
Another one, power.
Right on.
Power's another one I've done a lot of.
You know, I think it's cool. That would be, yet again, one of those things that, man, I would really, really want to make sure I know what I'm getting before I get it.
You have no kanji on you?
No, not at all.
I do.
I've never seen anything that I went, oh man, I want to get that. You know what I mean? Like, I was pretty particular about my tattoos from jump, so I didn't get anything that was, you know, like I had no reason to get anything like that.
So I have a Jesus tattoo, and I put kanji for Lord and King.
Okay.
Because there's nothing that says Jesus like
Dude,
Japanese writing.
You know what's crazy? This is a little off topic, but I happened to be watching this thing last night. Do you know that there's a small group of people in Japan that think that Jesus died in Japan and had his brother took his place?
No, I didn't know that.
And there's actually a town where they claim that Jesus is buried there. He lived till 106 years old with his wife and kids.
I know there's a dude in Japan who says he's Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that, but I happened to come across this thing last night, and I was like, wow, okay. I mean, you know, look, whatever, man. I'm not religious by any means, so I'm not going to get into theological questions or whatever, but I never heard that before. And then the guy actually went there, and yeah, man, they have it like turned into this whole, like, you know, go check it out and whatever.
Sean, yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of floored by that.
Did you ever hear the idea that Mary Magdalene had children with Jesus and that they eventually became the royal families of Europe?
Okay.
Like
No.
Charlemagne and those guys?
Yeah, I mean, look, dude, it's way above my pay grade. Yeah. You know, there's certain things I just don't talk about because I don't know enough about them to even have a discussion. But, you know, I can give opinions.
Yeah, yeah.
I found it interesting. The show was about him going to Japan and like hanging out and doing stuff, and he saw that and was like, oh wow. But, you know, I think that I'm excited to do the trip to Hawaii. I want to definitely go to a couple places that are, you know, very well known, obviously. You know, some historic sites as well. And I was going to tell them the story about the whole thing with the Circle of Seven.
Mm-hmm.
So I was talking to Babbitt today because I'm trying to figure out the whole LA thing in December. And I was also asking him about the TAM thing. I was trying to put, you know, feelers out on what he thought about the whole situation. And we got talking about, you know, Sailor Jerry and Malone and Hildebrandt and you know, Ed Hardy and stuff like that out in Hawaii. And he talked about I don't think he called it the Circle of Seven. It was something of seven, the meeting of seven, the convergence of seven. Either way, it doesn't matter. And it was Ed Hardy, Hildebrandt, Malone, Sailor Jerry, Sailor Jerry's
Friend from Australia.
no, Prentice. I don't remember. He told me the guy's name, and I can't off the top of my head. I'm struggling today, dude. I didn't get to take my ADHD meds.
Was Zico in there?
He was not. And then it was the guy that was from Japan that was
Horihide.
there. No, it was
Horihide. Gifu Horihide.
Keizu Ori
Yeah, Orgori.
Ogori. Yeah.
Keizu Ogori.
Yeah. So
So this is what that means, is that basically what happened with Horihide is that he was taught to tattoo, and then they come in and they're like, "You're going to go to Gifu now. Like you're going to tattoo the Yakuza in Gifu." So that's why he's called Horihide of Gifu or Horihide Gifu,
right.
because that's where he tattooed.
Okay. So they said that Sailor Jerry had like an old, car and convertible, yellow convertible, older car. They, were going to all meet up to have this, meeting of the minds kind of thing. It was precursor to conventions, basically.
And it's important that Jerry and Horihide had a correspondence.
Yes.
I mean, Horihide sent designs, which today doesn't seem like much, but you have to think that like it was a secretive. I mean, Japan, it was a secretive art.
Right.
So he's sending designs to a Westerner.
Right.
Yeah. So what Sailor Jerry did was a little, but go ahead.
Yeah. So, and the only reason this came up was because one of my places that I definitely want to see, because I've never been to Hawaii before, was going to the USS Arizona. To me, I'm a huge World War II history buff, and then I also have a personal connection to that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was telling Baba, I go, yeah, man, and he was giving me the dude that used to work at his shop, gave me his shop. He was like, hit him up, whatever. I don't know if I don't really plan on doing any interviews and stuff while I'm out there, but doesn't say it won't happen. But then he started to tell me this whole story about this, the seven, and they were meeting up, and apparently they went to go pick up Horihide at the airport. Jerry had everybody in the car, and Sailor Jerry, we've talked about this before, where he obviously was a patriotic, love his country, damned if you don't kind of person.
Product of his time.
Yeah, for sure. And he took him to the USS Arizona and pointed down and was like, "You did that.
Yeah,
You
did that.
That is just ruthless." Now, Baba said flat out that Kate Hildebrand told him that, verbatim, because she was there.
Yeah.
Baba said that later on he actually confronted Ed Hardy about it, and Ed Hardy just kind of was like, "Oh, well, he didn't want to really talk about it or whatever." But Kate Hildebrand told him flat out, that is exactly what happened. And Sailor Jerry was like, "You did that."
So, like with Malone, right? So Malone had access through the New York
What's up, Irish?
through the New York History Museum to ukiyo-e art, right? That Jerry wanted. He had taken photographs of Japanese art.
Right.
But I mean, Malone was always really open with the fact that Jerry would not have given him the time of day, because he was like, whereas Don Hardy could present himself. Don Hardy was a pothead or whatever, but he could present himself as pretty straight. You know what I mean? Like pretty square. Like Malone couldn't even present himself like that. He was a wild man. But yeah, Jerry was not, hippie, like anything like that.
Right.
World War II vet.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny, man, because that's one of the things that Schwagert was talking about during the interview was, how he would go out of his way down at Richmond and spend a boatload of time talking to Malone. Like he said that he couldn't get enough talking to Malone. And ironically enough, it got cut out. I cut it out of the episode. And what led to that discussion about him sitting there at Richmond was we were talking about how you get pissed off when we go to conventions and you just take off because I want to sit there and be like Chatty Cathy with all these old heads. And then he was like, well, why doesn't Justin sit there and listen? And I was just like, well, Justin's got this, like, he wants to go do his thing when he gets there. And
I would sit and listen to Malone.
yeah, yeah, of course. But it was funny though, because like, when I try to not ever take anything out of context, or I never want to make somebody say something that they didn't say by restructuring, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But there's times where I have to cut out ums and ahs and silence because believe it or not, not everybody is so quick, boom, 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 to fire off at the on 4 cylinders, dude. So people sometimes will pause and think about what they're going to say. I do it a lot. So, you just have to take some of that stuff out. But then there's also side conversations where I might ramble, the other person might ramble, and it doesn't really go
Doesn't
with
flow.
the narrative of the story. So it's like, you know what I mean? But I found that funny, man. It was part of that.
So Professor Ouch had a pretty funny story about Malone. He so Sailor Jerry stencils sell today. Like a large Sailor Jerry acetate is a couple $100 at least. So furry Professor Ouch is visiting Malone, and he's like, Malone has tubs, like plastic tubs of Jerry stencils. He's like, you want any? You want any? And he's just like pulling out handfuls, because this was before the books were published and before, the whole push for Sailor Jerry and tattooing and stuff. Yeah, Malone would just give that stuff away.
Doesn't it blow your mind how willy-nilly things were before that people realized how much stuff was worth,
Before
or the value to it?
I mean that's why Tuttle knew.
Yeah.
People would die and Tuttle would show up.
Yeah.
And you got to think, if you were, back then, if you were a tattooer, you might not have been the best family man or whatever. So your wife and your kids might be, that shit's in the garage.
Right. I just, it blows my mind, man, when you hear some of the stories of, guys from the past and stuff getting thrown out, or just, there was no value to it. So, but then now you look at it and you're like, man, there's people that would kill for some of that stuff. But you're right, man. I think Lyle Tuttle, whether, you like him or not, because there are, people out there that don't like him for whatever reason, he had at least the foresight to see that, hey, man, this stuff's going to be worth something someday. And, we're fortunate for that, because I think a lot of stuff got saved.
Yeah.
Because of that, which is amazing to me. But I think that there's still plenty of stuff out there that, unfortunately lost. But like Mike Schwaggart was saying, there are guys that are still digging up collections. There might be, so might not be flash or machines or stencils or whatever, right? But it could be correspondence with other tattoo artists that got stuffed in a box somewhere and, will show up years later. You think of people that have passed that, maybe had some type of correspondence with other guys and, nobody thought about it or whatever. And now all of a sudden, boom. Schwaggart even talked about the fact that Ernie Carafa had a boatload of castings sitting to the side that were ordered for, him and Paul to put together machines. Mm-hmm. And then Mike Schwaggart, spent a bunch of time sitting with Ernie going through that stuff and creating machines and whatnot. That to me, like, I love hearing stories like that, and it also breaks my heart, because then there's stories that, people had machines and whatever that were supposed to be given to them that were stolen, or, Ronnie had a couple heartbreaking stories that I didn't put it on the episode just because, the other people weren't there to defend themselves, so I didn't want to start a shitstorm or whatever. But it sucks, man. It sucks because there is a lot of cool stuff that just lost.
I mean, part of what amazes me is that so when I got into tattooing, National Brand Color Flash was coming out, and the picture machine stuff was just considered so passe and so out of date that I don't want to say it was worthless, but a lot of people didn't care about it at all, and just it just ended up in back rooms. It just ended up sort of disregarded, and now those same sheets that people didn't care about in 1990 are selling on the internet, 30, $40 a piece,
Yeah.
which is just amazing to me. Dude, there's old Spalding and Roger catalogs from when I was a kid, man, that are, I mean, they're not selling for that much money, but the fact that people would buy a catalog, it's like, it's crazy.
Yeah, but
It's crazy
man,
to me.
I chalk that up to the same thing as like there's old heads that ride that love collecting old service manuals for Harley Davidsons and whatnot. I mean, look, dude, there's guys out there that have service manuals for bikes that they've never owned and probably never will.
Yeah.
But it's just like, hey, man, how cool is that you got, a service manual for 38 Knucklehead? Look at the difference now compared, just cool stuff like that. And that's the way I look at some of this stuff with the tattoo artists from the past. I think that was also one of the things that I took away from the interview with Mike Schwaggart was he said that he had acquired a Coleman machine, which I put in the video, and he said for the longest time he actually put it in a box and like put it away in a safe, and then he was like, he saw some documentaries or something, and the guys were talking about like these machines were made for life, and he brought it back out and started using it again.
Yeah.
Because
He tattooed me with that.
that's the thing is like, that's cool. There's, these things were not made to, the intention wasn't to be a museum piece. It was made to be a workhorse, your daily driver, man. Like that's, you were using it every day. But I found that interesting, dude, that like, because we got on the topic about him collecting machines and collecting Flash and stuff like that. Because here's the thing is that there's a difference between collecting Flash and then there's somebody that's hardcore like him that has a crazy amount of historical Flash.
So one of the reasons Mike and I got along so well was because I really like what I think of as genuine American traditional. Like what's called American traditional today is ridiculous to me. I like Owen Jensen, and I like Dietzel, and especially Coleman, and like, after I was sort of fascinated by Sailor Jerry for a while, but then when I found that there were other tattooers that predated him and still did like when you see Owen Jensen's work, you can see how Jerry, took a lot of it.
Yeah.
For his didn't steal it, but he had such a heavy influence, and so that was something Mike and I were always able to talk about because, like for instance, there was a tattoo artist Tommy Berg, and at the turn of the century in California, and there were copies of Tommy Berg's Flash that went around for a little while, and dude, I was always like I give you my eye teeth.
You know who and it's been more recent than anything, but like I really love the Ben Corday Flash.
Yeah.
And you know who else that I'm really starting to dig, and I don't see a lot of it, and it was I think the first time I ever actually saw it was when you and I were at that Lyle Tuttle exhibit. Was that Ralph Johnstone? Dude, that guy's Flash was, I don't know, man. It was just next level amazing. Just the style of it, he definitely had his own unique style, man, and I would definitely get something like that. But I like the Ben Corday stuff where he does like the Gypsy Girl.
Yeah, and and you got to think Corday was, I think, using a 3. Like a lot of those English guys that were tattooing in America, they were using fine needles.
it's funny that you're saying that, right? And this is a good topic to kick around tonight. But I did the episode on Wednesday night about Southern Lynn McDonald, and there were a lot of guys that got back to me, after the fact. There was actually a couple of comments during the show where they were saying about like how different the style of tattooing was compared to. So if you took the same time frame that Southern Lynn McDonald was tattooing,
Right.
and then you look at the same time frame here in the United States, which would have been like Gus Wagner. That's the only person like off the top of my head right now that I could think of, right?
Our tattooing was rough.
Compared to theirs,
Absolutely.
I mean, dude, they were doing like next level stuff back then that was just truly amazing, man. And the pictures that they had of the tattoos that he had done were just like, holy shit, man.
I mean, think about it. Burchett did portraits.
Yeah.
Burchett did, I mean,
Well, the other thing that kind of blows my mind about that time frame is, and I actually mentioned this during the episode or the live stream last Wednesday, was, those guys were very heavily into the tattoo makeup thing. We know about that now, but like back then, like how, and I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that there was probably so many like high society, upper crust type people that could get that stuff. Like that wasn't the common person that was out on the street wouldn't be getting that stuff. But you had people that were princesses and queens and
yeah, royalty.
yeah, like
That would
the
sneak-
hierarchy.
Yeah, that would sneak off, to do their, to get their tattoo.
Yeah, like they would, and they were getting like rouge and eyeliner and stuff like that. So, those guys were also, they went out of their way, Burchett and McDonald, to try to bring the tattooing up to like the next level where they were wearing their white smocks, like the same that a doctor would wear. They were always dressed like Mark Mahoney. You know what I'm saying? Like they were always dressed nice with a suit, pocket watch, like those. Yes, it was the times, but if you look at Joey Riffraff during that time, he wasn't dressing like that either. So they were making that push to bring up the the class of tattooing, which is why they were able to do. Kings of Norway, stuff like that, Denmark.
Who was the guy? Was it Dietzel or the other one that was the that painted the movie posters? I'm going to say it was one of the Midwest guys. Maybe I'm not sure.
I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
I mean, I remember reading.
I mean,
about
I don't. Dietzel sounds might sound right to me, but I don't want to say yes, and then somebody calls me out and be.
So the thing about that is that it's like with the Pulp Fiction covers, man. The guys that painted the Pulp Fiction covers, a lot of them wouldn't sign them because it was just considered like a low form of art. I mean, now like original Pulp Fiction cover paintings, they're pricey,
Right.
but at the time, like it was an artist that was classically trained in like an oil painting technique would never admit to painting a picture for some sci-fi magazine.
Now, back then, I'm under the impression, this is what I'm taking away from it, but a lot of those guys back then they were not signing Flash.
Or they were
fudging it. I think that started happening here later on, though. Because there's, I went to something where it was at this, historical book place outside of Philly. What was that, like a year ago? And they had all kinds of books and stuff about tattooing, and then they had like, reference stuff for tattooing. Hey, what's up, Gina? Thank you for hanging with us tonight.
They had the travel book, right?
Yeah. So, but then they had this one travel book, and it was filled with these, and it was a little tiny one, right? And it was filled with like glorious flash, hand drawn, colored penciled. It was amazing, and nobody knew who the guy was because there was never any signatures in it. And I was just like, damn, dude, that's. So I actually wound up posting that and asking, kicking it around to like Matt Lauder and Dana, because Dana, I figured if anybody would know, it'd be Dana. And nobody had a clue who it was, which is a shame, man, because I'm like, dude, they were really nice, dude.
I mean, think about how tattooing changed. Like, you got the first generation guys that are painting their own flash,
Yeah.
right? And then you got the guys, the pre-production flash.
Right.
I mean, it definitely, you could do tattooing once the picture machine came out and the Spalding and Rogers stuff came out. You could do tattooing without really being able to draw, as long as you could effectively reproduce an image with.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that that generation of tattooers was, well, they were probably less artistic.
Yeah.
Because they weren't able to draw their own and paint. I mean, to hand paint their own flash.
So that was one of the things that, Schwaggart was saying that, when California Jack Witt took him on, he knew that Schwaggart was going to SCAD, so he had some artistic ability.
Right, he was going to art school.
And he was saying that, he needed Mike. Jack Witt needed Mike to redraw stuff. So like somebody came in and wanted a custom or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But he did say though that he was buying like the old Spalding and Rogers black and white, no color flash, and he wanted to hand color in all the flash himself because, like he said, I didn't want to buy a piece of Malone flash. And then somebody said, hey, that's what I want. It's on the wall. And I couldn't reproduce it. So I would take the black and white and color. This is Jack, I'm saying, right? He would take it and color in and do all this stuff because that would be how his workflow and how he would do things. So he was just, didn't want somebody to be like, well, that doesn't look like what's on the wall.
So one of the things that Mike told me that was interesting was that when you paint a piece of flash, you don't put everything into it that you're going to put into the tattoo. And that way you can say to the guy, hey, how about a little bit of yellow highlight in the wings? Or how about, you can make them feel like you're giving them extra.
Right.
Yeah.
So we got Gina Medusa Carlson in our chat.
Mm-hmm.
She added me on Instagram and commented on the Schwaggart videos. She's trying to do her own little thing, man. She's got a little channel, so if you guys want to go check her out, she's in chat right now. She's got a cool. She's a tattoo artist that's doing her own thing, trying to do some cool videos and stuff like that. So, man, I'm all about helping somebody else out that doesn't have an attitude. It's not a dickhead. So, there you go, Gina.
It's funny. There's the old Spalding catalogs were organized. Like there was the NC flash, there was the S flash, the picture machine stuff. But there were two sets of flash that I've never been able to find. The K series and the G series. Not the K series, that was Carrie Barba. The G series and this other one. And they were just the most brutal, just drugs and bikes and they were just the best.
Do you think that you can't find them because people were like, nobody's getting those tattoos and they chucked them?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, because Mike was saying that too, that there was just certain flash that, he would buy it or whatever, but he would buy it just because of the way he liked the way it looked or whatever, but he knew deep down, like nobody was ever going to get those tattoos.
Yeah.
Which is cool too, man. I mean, if that's something that just, appeals to you or whatever, that you buy it just because you want to have it. I think that when you start to hear some of these insider stories, though, man, it kind of opens up a whole new light for some things. And it still blows my mind that we got to a point where, shops basically just were getting rid of flash. But that's, I guess maybe it's because I'm older. I'm in my, 51. And, when I started getting tattooing, it was all about the flash. Like there was no cell phones and whatever, it was unheard of to print out a picture and take it in and be like, hey, this is what I want. I never even. I think when I first started getting tattooed, I don't think I would have ever even imagined being like, hey man, I'm gonna take this picture in and be like, hey, can you do this for me? You know what I mean? It was about like just showing up at the tattoo shop and spending a half hour walking around and going, all right, I like these two right here, but I'm not sure. I remember going through that. That was funny.
See, the thing about Flash like that is that it's like when someone paints Mickey Mouse, and you can tell that it was meant to be Mickey Mouse, and it sort of looks like Mickey Mouse, but it just isn't. I mean, I think there's a lot of tattooers that do incredible work that couldn't reproduce a traditional eagle. They just couldn't.
Yeah.
They couldn't get the head and the beak and the wings right. It would look like a traditional eagle, but it just wouldn't. Couldn't quite get there.
Right. So Irish asked if we're going to be at the Philly convention in January.
No.
You're not going?
Maybe.
I'll be there. I'm not. We're not. I'm not going to be there as like somebody that has a booth or whatever. But I'm going to take a day walking my fat ass around there if I can make it.
I'll buy
It was just way too big anymore, man. Like it blows my mind how big it is and how. I don't know. It just like last year, I just was like, wow, man, this is way too much.
See, I always say I'm not going to go, and then a lot of times I end up going. But it's just like aggravating, man. It's just aggravating. It's aggravating to walk into a tattoo convention and not hear tattoo machines.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it depends on the convention that you go to or whatever. Could also be on what row you're in. Troy likes to put all the old heads together, so
Right.
that row's humming.
That rose humming.
There's no doubt about it, dude. Man, I like to go to conventions just to meet new people and run into people that I do know. So, I do try to go to stuff. I'm actually, April 17th, 18th, and 19th is the 50th anniversary of the Houston convention. So I don't know, man. I don't know if I could swing it or not, but it's something I would look into. Because to me, man, 50 years, that's a pretty big deal.
I have a photo of that.
Of the first.
Mm-hmm. I have a photo like all the different contestants.
Oh, wow.
It's in the tattooist book.
Okay.
Yeah, it's two. Because I always noticed there was a dude there, JC Fly, and I don't really know anything about him, but just from his tattoo work, he looks like he was a crazy dude.
Right. It's funny. I always get questions about books that, what's a good book? What's a good book? In your mind, man, like what are some... So if you're somebody who was out there who's a new tattoo artist, what books would you recommend?
Doing the kind of tattoo work that I like to do.
Oh, just in general.
Just
Like, so if it's somebody new and they're looking to up their skills up or whatever, what books would you suggest for them?
well, there's Legends.
Okay.
By Jason Kelly, maybe. I mean, it's huge. There's Dana's book, the Brunson Family album. What?
RC still in chat. He's like, F the Philly convention.
I wasn't gonna say it. Guy Atkinson puts out books that are pretty incredible. But if you're into like new school and heavy color theory and pushing boundaries, I mean, I don't know if I would suggest books as much as I would suggest like places to buy books.
Yeah, like Basil Books, Book Mistress,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you know what, man? Like, you can't really go to Barnes & Noble and snag books.
No.
They'll have a couple there, but they're not really like... I don't know, man. Maybe our Barnes & Noble is just lacking in that department or whatever, but every time I go there... Not that I go to Barnes & Noble that often, but, the couple times that I have gone, it's it's very lacking. I think that there's much better places. I mean, I really want to get the book that was it was just put out last year. It's $150, but it's like volume 1 of the British Pioneers. Man, that book looks sick, dude. Like, I definitely want to pick that up.
So I would say the two fundamental books when it comes to tattooing for me were The Tattooist by Alan Morse and The Japanese Tattoo. Then after that, like the first Sailor Jerry book and Japanese Tattoos that had the stuff by Horiyoshi, the big red Don Hardy book. I mean, the 100 Dragons book. I mean,
So Gina just said reinventing the tattoo newest revisions are
Yeah.
spectacular, in my opinion.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I actually have yeah,
Don't they have a like a podcast that they do, the reinventing?
maybe.
Because I'm pretty sure that Jason Leeser, I interviewed him. He was one of my very first interviews that I did on this channel. I think he's part of that, where he does like seminars and stuff like that via the internet.
So I met Guy at I think the Philadelphia convention. He was doing the painting when they used to do they would have the artists do the paintings there. And he was just like a really, like, I thought he was like a down to earth, chill guy. He seemed pretty decent. And I bought a copy of Reinventing the Tattoo, the first one. It's like it was still like in a binder, and I understood like 3 words in it. Man, he's going into like texture effects and
Okay.
heavy color theory, and I mean just really, I was like,
Well,
I like to do skulls.
so Sando Cello just jumped in. Welcome to the show. I just hopped in, but since we were talking about books, my friend Bill has a great book about Bill Mokry. Dude, I've seen pictures of it. I mean, I saw some of the pictures that he posted before that book got put together. I know he had a really rough time putting that book together. But he's got some amazing pictures, man, that he's, I don't know if I think he had some kind of inside with Bill Mokry's family.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, dude, that looks like a sick book as well. There's a couple out there that are freaking awesome. I think when I get asked a lot, it's more on the lines of like history books to line people up. So, I'm fortunate enough to have Justin, who has quite the collection of books. His back of his shop looks like a goddamn library. So I need reference stuff. I always just come here and be like, hey, dude, can I borrow this book for a minute?
The New York City Oral History book by Mike McCabe.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
I love that book, man. And then the Philadelphia Eddie ones. They're out there, but they're good.
Do you still have my
Yeah, I have 2 of them. Yep. Because I was trying to put together stuff for the Philadelphia Eddie episode. I think, all the information I need. It's just a matter of I don't know if Philly Eddie's family put like the lockdown on pictures and stuff like that. I was having a hard time finding some good pictures, man. Like, I'm still doing it. Don't get me wrong. I was just saying, like, I was struggling, and when I was, deep into doing that, getting the information together and stuff like that, I was really struggling to get some good pictures. So,
Yeah, I would talk to Furry.
so Gina said they have an online weekly class in Zoom. I'm a member. Jason and I have done conventions together. I met him through Reinventing Community. There you go. And Mike DeVries put out a book about realism that's incredible too. RC said, why, you ask? Because they sell equipment to anyone with cash. And then he said, JC Fly tattooed in Long Island.
Yeah, he looks like, I mean, just from the pictures of him,
Yeah.
you're like, that dude's a maniac.
Yeah. He looks like the when I think of tattooing.
When I think of like,
Yeah, JC Fly is one of them dudes. But I hope you all enjoyed the show tonight, man. I mean, we pieced it together with the lack of information for tonight, a lack of news, but we tried our best to make it, interesting for you all. I will be doing my Wednesday night live stream where, we've been focusing on history on Wednesday nights, man, knocking out some people that I want to do episodes on that I just don't have enough information on. So we've been digging deep. We did Elmer Getchell. We did Sutherland McDonald last week. I'll be doing one this Wednesday. I'm not sure who yet. I have some ideas. And then we will not be here on next Sunday because I will be on vacation the following Sunday. After that, hopefully I will be back in time and everything's cool. And,
Because one of us will be in right outside of Trenton, New Jersey, and the other one will be in Paradise. I'm not saying who. I'm just saying one of us is going to be in shitty, cold, cloudy here, and one of us is going to be on,
I won't be on a beach, dude.
Are you going to? But seriously, what about the beach where the black beach where the hardened lava is? You wouldn't even go to that beach?
I'm not saying I won't go to a beach. I'm just saying I'm not really like a beach person.
I'm not a beach person either, dude.
Nah, man. I mean, I'm renting a Mustang GT convertible to rip around the island for 2 days.
Every time I go to the beach, they try to push me in.
Yeah, same. I can't afford that on my vacation, dude. I can't be trying to swim back to shore.
So seriously, a thing about Hawaii before we shut down. I had forgotten to mention this. I met a Hawaiian tattooist named Keanu Navos, maybe. And one of the things he said to me that was really kind of touching and a little fucked up was that, like, the Hawaiians don't enjoy the same cultural protections that Native Americans do in the continental United States.
Okay.
So he said that there's places that he would want to tattoo on the islands that are sacred, to doing the Hawaiian tattooing, and he can't.
Wow.
He just can't. Whereas, like, if the same situation happened on the continental United States, there's laws that would give them precedence, like
Right.
how they, for instance, Native Americans are allowed to own eagle feathers because it's part of their culture, a deep part of their culture.
Yeah, man. I mean, I just saw Spanian did an episode where he was in the U.S. Samoan Islands or whatever. And, man, compared to the Samoan Islands, night and day, dude. Because they're, overseen by us. It's a shit show. You go to actual Samoan Islands, and it's like paradise.
Yeah.
And they're like, what the hell, man? But we don't need to get all preachy about that. I hope you all have a safe, happy week. I hope you join me on Wednesday night. And if you can't, we understand. Catch it on the video on demand replay. Thank you all for hanging out with us.
I'll
Thank
see
you for
guys in 2
subscribing.
weeks.
We'll see you then. Peace.